you must have a even more grand vision for the Academy. What is it? Who does it help?
It helps everyone. Most studies will say that your personality is fairly well formed at 35. I want to get to kids in a massive scale, long before that personality set is in place. From experience, I could tell you once it is in place, it is very difficult to study these things and roll it back. It is a hard, long, difficult road. So the idea is to get this out to the masses so that as they're forming that personality set, their understanding, again, they're so much bigger than the regimented school system that they're in and the process that they're in, where many of us feel disconnected, disenfranchised. It doesn't excite us. Our brains don't think that way. And there isn't an alternative, and there should be. Right? It shouldn't just be a recite from memory certain metrics system.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we're at a place in the world where almost everyone I talk to feels there's more. They feel that there has to be something else, but they're not quite sure how they get there. What I'm simply doing is sharing how I got there and what worked for me and condensing it all down where you have all the materials you need. Talk about core values, talk about manifesting, talk about vision board. Okay, what does that mean? Well, in the Resource Center, there's exercises that will take you through it. So you can find your why. You can build out your core values. You can learn how to do proper declarations. You can learn how to manifest. You can learn how to build a vision board. None of that has anything to do with real estate, but it does.
So in addition to these videos, the 80 plus however many videos we're going to do, there is a resource center.
Yeah.
And the resource center, you and I were talking just before we started recording here, is, gosh, it could be its own internet of information about all things real estate and self-development.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is not a self-help course in the bold sense of self-help, right?
The Resource Center was my way of where we talk about things topically, but I know the work that I had to put in on those topics. And I know I didn't even know what many of those topics meant, right? You have a conversation, you take a course, someone talks about something, you don't understand it. Maybe at best you'll look up a keyword. I'm giving you the resources to be able to do that work. That's the idea of the Resource Center. Be it on the real estate side or on the empowerment side, you have to do the work. But the rewards are significant.
So as somebody goes through and they're watching these videos and watching you talk, because I won't be here for the whole course, there will be little icons that pop up on the video that says Resource Center.
Yes. It's the how-to for whatever we're talking about in that moment. And on the real estate side, it's the long page turns of an LOI or page turns of a lease and the things to look out for that take a lot of time. And I can certainly understand people not wanting to sit through hours of page turns. But again, they are critical if you want to get to that deal maker level.
We've mentioned the Resource Center a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking just before we turned the cameras on about all of the information that's in the Resource Center, and it is massive. What is this beast?
It is the detail. How do you find your why? Here's an exercise. How do you write your daily goal sheets? Here's an exercise. What is manifesting? How do you properly manifest? Here's an exercise. It boils all that stuff down. It's the work you need to do to really unlock the potential. On the real estate side, and you referenced earlier issues with courses, what is a retail LOI? Okay, we can talk about a retail LOI in the general terms. It's a document that sets the terms and conditions of a deal that will be incorporated into a lease. Here's a great way that you can structure this thing with address, square footage, rent, CAM, all of the different metrics. That's usually what you get. 99.9% of the time, that's what you'll get out of a course. In the Resource Center, I walk you through my LOI that I've built over 30 years, I explain why I've put the clauses in that I've put in from a deal maker perspective and an owner's perspective. And I really show you what a deal maker LOI looks like and how powerful that is for your clients. When you can really level set and get into the weeds on issues that I know come up downstream when we get to legal, we want to solve those issues up front. Agents, owners, people in general typically want to not deal with the uncomfortable stuff up front, and that just makes problems in real estate down the road. This is the resource center. This is the deeper exercises that really define or give context to a particular topic.
So this, you say, gives you context to the regular topic or to the topic, and it gives you worksheets and information. So while you may have watched this video 3 times or these videos 3 times, the backup information is there.
The backup information is there, and the work that you really need to do to unlock your levels are there. Without the resource center, if you're not willing to undertake that, there's value, but it is significantly diminished. You have to do that work.